man who has not passed through the inferno of his passions has never overcome them. If you punish the truth, expect to be lied to. Happiness is the only thing that doubles when you share it. Whoever attaches a lot of value to the opinions of others pays them too much honor. You came into this huge world alone and will go out of it alone. Hence, can make any impossible thing possible by yourself only. You will look back at your life with much more regret for the things that you didn't do than for the things that you did. If you love something so much, let it go. If it comes back, it was meant to be. If it doesn't, it never was. Give a person everything that he desires, and at the same moment, you will feel that this is not everything. We are not rich by what we possess, but by what we can do without. If we suspect that a man is lying, we should pretend to believe him, for then he becomes bold and assured, lies more vigorously, and is unmasked. Prayers do not change the world, but prayers change people, and people change the world. Rules for happiness: something to do, someone to love, something to hope for. The virtuous man contents himself with dreaming that which the wicked man does in actual life. Love you will find only where you may show yourself weak without provoking strength. One cannot be deeply responsive to the world without being saddened very often. Being entirely honest with oneself is a good exercise. We are never so defenseless against suffering as when we love. Man's main task is to give birth to himself. To be happy is to be able to become aware of oneself without fright. How others see you is not important. How you see yourself means everything. The only way to live like a king is to work like a slave. Everything you need will come to you at the perfect time. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. Thinking is difficult. That's why most people judge. Even a happy life cannot be without a measure of darkness, and the word happy would lose its meaning if it were not balanced by sadness. When we love and respect people, revealing to them their value, they can begin to come out from behind the walls that protect them. People cannot accept their own evil if they do not at the same time feel loved, respected, and trusted. If the path before you is clear, you're probably on someone else's. Man can endure the hardest trials if he sees meaning in them. The whole difficulty lies in creating that meaning. Don't hold on to anyone who's leaving. Otherwise, you won't meet the one who's coming. Doubt isn't the opposite of faith. It is an element of faith. Man needs difficulties. They are necessary for health. Life really does begin at 40. Up until then, you are just doing research. The greatest and most important problems of life are all fundamentally insoluble. They can never be solved, but only outgrown. The first duty of love is to listen. The courage to be is the courage to accept oneself, in spite of being unacceptable. Health so far outweighs all other blessings of life, that a truly healthy beggar is happier than a sick king. Things don't make us happy. Experiences do. Keep your mouth shut whenever you are happy. Keep your mouth shut whenever you are sad. Stop comparing yourself with those who started 10 years before you. Focus on your own journey. The most spiritual people experience by far the most painful tragedies. But this is precisely why they honor life, because it provides them with their greatest adversities. The lack of young men is that they think they are more happy or unhappy than they really are. Evil person cannot be happy, for being alone with himself, he remains alone with the villain. Hope in reality is the worst of all evils, because it prolongs the torments of man. No one can construct for you the bridge upon which precisely you must cross the stream of life. No one but yourself alone. Many people know they are unhappy, but even more people don't know they are happy. The future comes slowly, the present flies, and the past stands still forever. The clever are not so much looking for loneliness as they avoid the fuss created by fools. Willpower is to the mind like a strong blind man who carries on his shoulders a lame man who can see. Sleep is the interest we have to pay on the capital which is called in at death. And the higher the rate of interest and more regularly it is paid, the further the date of redemption is postponed. Steel your sensibilities so that life shall hurt you as little as possible. The greatest of follies is to sacrifice health for any other kind of happiness. A man can be himself only so long as he is alone, and if he does not love solitude, he will not love freedom, for it is only when he is alone that he is really free. Employ your time in improving yourself by other men's writings, so that you shall gain easily what others have labored hard for. Be careful whom you associate with. It is human to imitate the habits of those with whom we interact. We inadvertently adopt their interests, their opinions, their values, and their habit of interpreting events. In old age, we all regret not having killed laziness in ourselves. Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been. Confine yourself to the present. The things you think about determine the quality of your mind. Your soul takes on the color of your thoughts. When we blather about trivial things, we ourselves become trivial, for our attention gets taken up with trivialities. You become what you give your attention to. In anger, we should refrain both from speech and action. The bravest sight in the world is to see a great man struggling against adversity. Do not indulge in dreams of having what you have not, but reckon up the chief of the blessings you do possess, and then thankfully remember how you would crave for them if they were not yours. Sometimes you must yield in order to win, and sometimes maintaining a low place leads you to win. You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. If you waste money, you can earn it again. If you miss the moment, it can never be returned. Live life with opened eyes, ears, and heart. Strong people are always simple. Pride in excess brings disaster for man. The superior man is modest in his speech, but exceeds in his actions. You spend your first 20 years worrying what people think about you. You spend your next 20 years swearing that you don't care what people think about you. You spend the next 20 years realizing that they aren't thinking about you. Never let others know your weaknesses. Instead, always try to show up your positives. Do not chase after happiness. It is always in you. The right question is usually more important than the right answer. No man ever steps in the same river twice, for it's not the same river if he's not the same man. Don't tell your friends that you're happy. Don't make them angry. Don't tell your enemies that you're unhappy. Don't make them happy. Time flies. One day you are 30, the next you are 50. Plan now for what you want 50 to look like. It is only for those without hope that hope is given. Smart people learn from everything and everyone. Average people from their experiences. Stupid people already have all the answers. Circumstances don't make the man. They only reveal him to himself.